Hey everybody, welcome back. We've got a pretty exciting deck for you today. We're going to be playing some Jeskai Hinata on the ladder. This deck list, or a version of this deck list, took down the new Capenna Set Championship. This version that we're actually playing today is one that was edited by Seth Manfield. Essentially, you're trying to get Hinata down, which is a 4 mana 4/4 flying trample, to essentially make your spells cost less or even tax your opponent to make anything that they're targeting cost more. And we're trying to combo that with Magma Opus, which is 6 colorless, blue red. It deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. You get to tap 2 things, and then you make a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, and then you get to draw 2 cards. Early in the game, it also helps you ramp by discarding it and making a treasure token if need be. We also have Gold Span Dragon to kind of help finish the game off as being a 4/4 that can kind of ramp you into your bigger spells or even just your other spells overall. Is fantastic. And on top of that, we actually have some other spells that are actually very synergistic with Gold Span Dragon, and the fact that Hinata makes them cost less is great. We'll get to those here in a moment. To start off with our early game, though, we have a couple of Flame Blessed Bolts. 1 red deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Then if that card would die, you exile it instead. We also have a 1-of Spikefield Hazard to play the role of a land early, or even shooting something down for that 1 damage is great. Kind of like anything against like a mid-ranger, like an aggressive deck if they're playing like a Luminarch Aspirant, Lotus Cobras, anything like that. Voltage Surge essentially helps play the same role that Flame Blessed Bolt does, except for that it doesn't exile, so it's not that great against a card like Tenacious Underdog, but it is great against other cards like Goldspan or even opposing Hinatas, where for 1 or 2 mana you're dealing 4 damage just by sacrificing a treasure. So this card is a great addition, really big fan of it. Just an efficient removal spell. We also have a card that can play the role of a removal spell, or at least a card that can kill some time or even protect your own cards. That's March of the Swirling Mist, X blue. As additional cost to cast a spell, you can exile any number of blue cards from your hand. It costs 2 less to cast for each of the cards exiled this way, and then you phase up to X creatures. A lot of the time that I use this, I actually was protecting my Hinata or the Gold Span. It's really, really great for that. We also have counterspells in Jawari Disruptions and Make Disappear, Negate. These are all great and can kind of help fill the role. Negate is just great against anything that's in the format right now, any type of planeswalkers, anything like that. Make Disappear counters anything. It doesn't have to be something specific. And later on, if you have some kind of creature like a token from the Magma Opus or even the Goblin token from the Fable, you can actually sacrifice it to counter something, make your opponent essentially pay 4 mana or the card is countered. We also have 1 of Dragon's Fire, 1 of Prismari Command to kind of help round out some of our early game removal. 4 Expressive Iterations to essentially help dig into the deck and find the cards that we need whenever we need them. 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which is just a fantastic card with the Gold Span. You can copy Gold Span, helps end the game quicker, or even early in the game, you're going to want to get this down. And your opponent, it's kind of like a must-answer threat. So this will help wear down your opponent a bit before you slam one of your dragon or the Hinata down and then finish them off with that. 1 of Deluge as well to kind of help dig into the deck whenever we need some more cards. Card is just phenomenal. For our mana base, essentially kind of like a stock mana base here with Pathways and some of these slow lands. But we do have a 1 of Hall the Storm Giants to kind of help finish the game out. I believe only 1, just because you don't want that many more tap lands later in the game. You actually want to have access to all your mana until you get to that Magma Opus mana, so that way you can just cast all your spells on time and essentially start to take the turns away from your opponent. For the sideboard, we have an additional 2 more Flame Blessed Bolts anytime you're facing something that you need to exile, or any type of quick, efficient aggro deck. 1 of Spell Pierce anytime that you know removal is going to be there, or in case you want to counter opposing Fable the Mirror Breakers, anything like that. 2 Disdainful Strokes to help counterspell anything that's like a Planeswalker, that's 4 more mana, Wandering Emperors, or just any type of problematic spells that are expensive. These 2 Valorous Stances actually play the role of protection and destruction, as they can destroy like an Asika's Chariot, opposing Goldspans, or even protect your own Goldspans and Hinatas. With Hinata down, it's just fantastic. It only ends up costing 1 white. An additional Dragon's Fire, just in case we really need that extra removal to kind of kill something. Paired up with the Goldspan Dragon, we can kill something with 4 toughness or 4 loyalty, so just a solid additional removal spell in the sideboard. 2 Reckoner Bankbusters to help you against anything that could be like a control or mid-range strategy. You grind out a little bit, draw some cards, and then eventually get a creature out of it to help crew this to beat down your opponent. 1 of Seismic Waves helps with any type of aggressive strategy, as it ends up dealing 2 to a target and then 1 additional damage to each non-artifact creature a target opponent controls. Essentially, you could deal 3 damage to 1 target if it's a non-artifact. And if they have a bunch of 1 toughness creatures, you can just wipe the board pretty quickly with that. An extra 1 of Memory Deluge to help grind mid-range matches or even against control when you need to just dig deeper into the deck. 1 of Burn Down the House against anything that could be like a going wide strategy or any type of Planeswalker deck as well. And 1 Hullbreaker for those control matchups and just an additional finisher in case we feel like maybe the combo may not be enough. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this deck. This deck actually got me pretty high up in Mythic. I definitely recommend it for any type of tournament and just a ladder in general. I know that I had a lot of fun playing it. Without any further ado, let's jump into the games. Let's jump into a match here with some Jeskai Hinata. See if we can get it going here in the Mythic rank. Potentially rank up. And we can definitely keep this hand. We're only a white source away from having this land be really fantastic. I think we will start off with this Lava Glide. That way we can cast this Flame Blessed Bolt if our opponent tries to cast a 2-drop here. They don't have anything yet. Go ahead and play the River Glide as a blue source. And hold up this Jawari. They may try to go for a Fable here. Going for iteration. I think we'll snap off this Jawari Disruption. That way we can kind of hold them off. Some good card selection here. And they still have a land drop. But it looks like we'll have double Hinata eventually. So if they can deal with the first one, we'll see if they can deal with that second one. Expressive Iteration is going to happen this time. I don't mind using our Disruption as the tempo play there, considering that it kind of messes up a little bit of their draw. Especially if they were looking for a land. Let's say they dug deeper, they weren't going to get it. Looks like they are going to get it though here. So they do have 2 mana open. I'll hold the Storm Giants a little bit late, which is unfortunate, but we're going to go ahead and try to cast this Hinata here. And it looks like our opponent has a removal spell for us. But I don't believe that they can cast it yet, considering that it costs 1 additional mana to kill the Hinata. So let's see if they actually spend their turn doing that. Okay, and they do. They definitely do. They play a tap land of their own, so we can replay a Hinata here. We could also Expressive Iteration. Opponent has 5 cards, and they haven't really done anything yet. Would an iteration be better? I think that since we're ahead right now, by making our opponent have to answer us, I feel like it's almost better to get another one of these down. And they probably have another removal spell, but I don't mind just running them out of it. Okay, so we hit an iteration. Let's try to reload here, get a good draw. Ooh. Let's put this gold span into our hand. This into our library. Hinata into exile. We'll play this as a... Let's see, is Hinata's the only white card? Main deck. It is. Yeah, let's go for red. And we'll try to play this. And I think they have another removal spell. That'd be quite insane. I mean, I expect it considering they're looking like a control mid-range deck here. We're getting closer to our Magma Opus either way, and this Goldspan Dragon, so I don't really mind. And it looks like they just have a Sorin, so our Hinata's going to get to breathe here. We'll get to cast this Goldspan. Oh, wow. Okay. So... cast Goldspan here. We also have that. Targets. Okay. Well, can I actually just kill the Sorin? Yeah, I think we're just swinging at our opponent here. Seeing how they block. Just gonna shoot this. Gonna hit that. end the turn, go to their turn. Oh, because it's 2 colors. I always forget that. Apologize. A little bit of a mistake there. Forgot that it's Goldspan doesn't add 1 of each that you want. It's just 2 colors, so bit of a misplay there, but I mean, getting in for 8 flying seems pretty decent. Being able to kill their Sorin was nice. Obviously, giving your opponent time here isn't the best thing, but even if our Hinata doesn't live, we are going to be able to cast this Magma Opus, so... Okay. We should be able to cast it off the second Goldspan. They have a removal spell. Yep. Cannot save that. So Hinata's going to die. We need 1 more land for this Opus. We hit it. I guess we had it from the Goldspan either way. 4, 5, 6. It's not enough. We need to use the mana from the Goldspan. Gonna have the Kiki flip after they draw. So we just try to kill them, though. I feel like I just want to kill them. Let's go for the Opus here, killing them all their permanents pretty much. Obviously, they're going to be able to use the Fable when it flips, but I think I'm okay with that. We have this Make Disappear to counter something for 4 if we need to. So this will flip. Let's see what they have. We can sack the token if anything happens. I actually think we're just going to counter that, as strange as it is, just because we don't want them to get any more card advantage. Yep, going to target that. So they can pay 2, but can't pay 4. They have 1 card left. Let's see what it is. Not going to play it yet. Still could be a Sorin. Okay, they just have another Corpse Appraiser, so a little bit frustrating that we had to use a token on that, but I'd rather do that than them potentially get infinite Kikis as well. This Expressive Iteration needs to be really, really good. And it looks like they're going for an Infernal Grasp, so we're going to get a mana here. Magma Opus, right on time. No, I don't think we can Goldspan and do it, but we'll be able to do this. Tap this, and just something, doesn't really matter. Tap that down, get some more lands. We have a 4/4. We'll just pass the turn back, hold up all of these cards here. Still having a Goldspan, the Fable, and the Expressive Iteration. Okay, drawing a land isn't the best, but it's not terrible. Do we want to iterate first? I think we just want to close out the game as fast as we can here. So let's get this Goldspan down. And our opponent is going to concede. So we're playing against a Grixis type mid-range deck, it looks like. Lots of removal spells. Feel like the Valorous Stance and the Spell Piercers are going to be good here. Hullbreaker mostly just dies of their point blank removals. Do we want the Deluge because the game's going to grind a little bit longer? We already have 1 though. Flame Blessed Bolt is okay, especially if they have Tenacious Underdog. We don't know yet though. We didn't see it. I think I'm okay cutting a Voltage Surge. And do we want to bring in the counter spells? The Disdainful Strokes. I don't think so. Negate's fine. Same with Make Disappear. All these counters I think are fine. You can bring in the Dragon's Fire, even the Burn Down the House, considering the Burn Down the House can get rid of their Planeswalkers. I think I like that. We'll bring in the Burn In. Prismari command doesn't necessarily shine in this matchup. Not really seeing a reason to bring it in for the artifact side of it. Could end up being a mistake considering it's like a 2-for-1 type card, but I think I'm okay cutting it. Might be able to also cut some of these on the draw. Spikefield Hazard, not as effective. And can we cut a Flame Blessed Bolt? I don't think so. Maybe we cut a Jawari Disruption. I only have 22 lands though. It's kind of sketchy. Could also cut a March. I feel like March is fine. Yeah, let's cut one of these. Let's do that. I think that's okay. We don't really want to be stuck with those later, right? We're on the draw. So, really don't want to be stuck with those later. And we'll definitely keep this hand. It's pretty decent. It has an interactive turn 2 play, even though it is obviously reactive. I think it's... we do have white mana here, so... can definitely play this as a red source to hold up this Flame Blessed Bolt for anything that they play early. Playing this as a blue source for the Make Disappear, and then we still have the white mana for the Hinata later. And we draw another River Glide, which is fantastic. We'll pass back to our opponent here and see what they do. And I don't want to make a treasure. Don't really think that's great right now. I think it's rare that you want to do that. You just want to slam the Hinata down and then try to just combo real quick. At least that's been my experience. The fact that we have so many good controlling cards to kind of get us in between there is fantastic. And our opponent does play their 4th land here, trying to play a Fabled. And we'll just counter that. And they're tapped out now. We have an Expressive Iteration. Might want to just play this as our second red source. Do we want to Expressive first? I really think I would rather just make them have to answer my cards. I just feel like that's correct. If they wait too long, we're going to go off pretty hard. So if they just tap out, that's fine. Okay, that wouldn't have helped either way. Let's Expressive here, try to reload a little bit. I actually think that I want the negate here. Put the Kiki into the library, exile the land, play it as a blue source, and pass the turn. Now we do have double red still for the gold span. They have a Corpse Appraiser, which is a bit annoying considering that, you know, we held up a negate, but we have ways of killing that. And yep, that's going to happen. To go ahead and dig deeper into their deck, get a card that they need. We can shoot down this Corpse Appraiser with the Dragon's Fire and hold up this Valorous Stance for the gold span. Or the negate for the rest of the game. Yeah, looks like they're just going to pass it back here. Go ahead and just Dragon's Fire. There's no reason to reveal anything in our hand. Go ahead and just shoot this down for 3 damage. They definitely have something, maybe? I'm not sure what it could be. But we'll go ahead and get a gold span down. Move to combat. Come in. We'll play this Jawari Disruption that we just drew as a land as well, considering that we just want maximum amount of damage, or maximum amount of mana, specifically for this Magma Opus that we're going to get to cast here pretty shortly. And it looks like our opponent is going to go for an Infernal Grasp. So go ahead and resolve the treasure token the treasure token first. We'll actually give this indestructible. Kind of blank them for a turn, maybe make them play another removal spell. We have a negate for that. And we do have this negate here, so we'll actually let the other treasure resolve first. Negate's going to take care of the Infernal Grasp. They only have 1 mana left, so realistically they shouldn't really have another removal spell for us, and that's actually enough to make our opponent scoop it up. We're pretty far ahead considering we were about to Magma Opus on the following turn, so tuck that down and we'll see you the next match. Jumping back on the ladder with some Jeskai Hinata. See if we can beat down with these 4/4 flyers, control the early game. So far, this deck feels really good. Been enjoying it quite a lot. I definitely recommend it for any tournament or just ladder in general. And we're on the draw. Our hand is kind of medium. We do have lands to play spells. Our opponent has Shark Sleeves. We may want to mulligan, but we also have tons of early game in the deck. I think I'm just going to keep it because we have mana and we can cast the spells in our hand. Okay, opponent does have a duress though. So most of our cards are gone for now. The Fable's definitely gone. Gonna... kind of a bit unfortunate there, obviously. Gets rid of one of our early plays, but at the same time we drew an Opus, which does actually ramp us into the Hinata if we get to keep it in our hand. I think we're going to go ahead and get this down as a red source here. Pass the turn back to our opponent. I think we should make the treasure and then see if we draw something good with the Hinata. And it looks like... Opponent's going to resolve that. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's make a treasure. Ooh, Jawari. It's not bad. Let's go get Hinata down. I mean, we have a blocker. Our opponent has to spend an additional mana to kill this card. Obviously, they have the treasure for that, but I think it's fine just slamming this down and seeing what our opponent does. They only got rid of one card, which is really bad, obviously, considering that they could have more gas in their hand. Okay, coming in. Not afraid to come in with the Goblin token, and it looks like they just have a removal spell now for the Hinata, unfortunately, and it is a Voltage Surge, so Hinata's going to go down. We're going to take 2, go to 18 ourselves. We draw a replacement Hinata. I think that's okay. Let's just make our opponent keep having to deal with this card. It's a 4/4 flyer. It's got some beef. Really hoping to draw a removal spell, though, for this reflection here. Or we could end up falling a bit behind. Okay, opponent down to 3 cards. Taking their time to think here. They could also rumble in with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. That is an option for them as well. At least this is all just like known information that we have. And unfortunately, it looks like they have a Chariot here. Definitely a card we don't want to see in this matchup. Opponent's not going to attack. We have this Deluge, which is great. I think we're just going to play this Riverglide as a red source. And pass the turn back to our opponent here. We could have played the Riverglide as a blue to maybe hold up this Jawari, but I think that's okay. We have Deluge for potentially a removal spell on whatever they target. And I think they're just going to target the Blood Tithe here, so we're going to have to dig. Gonna have to dig here pretty deep, hoping to hit something good. And we do hit Flame Blessed Bolt and this Fable, so we're definitely going to grab both of those. And we'll go ahead and just shoot this down now. That is the scariest card they have. Obviously, it sucks just because we're not able to kill the reflection, but I think we just have to do this now. We could have main phase Deluge on our turn. That might have been the better play. Okay, that's going to die. Our opponent is going to hit us for 4 damage here. Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to trade with the token, so that's nice. And we'll definitely block one of these, taking 6 going down to 12. Obviously not where we want to be in the game, but we do have cards that get us out of this situation. Jawari Disruption is not one of them, so we'll go ahead and play this. One of these Jawaris face down. Play the Fabled as well, that way we can get some more blockers onto the battlefield. And let's see if we can survive this onslaught that our opponent is bringing down on us here. Fortunately, we fell behind just a little bit here over the fact that our opponent was on the play and had some value cards. They are going to be able to play around this Jawari, so fortunately we have to let them keep the token here from the Ren. And I actually think that we're going to go ahead and pack it up. We could draw an Opus, I guess, so Don't really want to count us out yet until we hit the Opus. It's not going to win us the game, though, just because we're taking so much damage right now. Take another 6, go down to 6, and then they just make more tokens. So there isn't really like a way for us to get out of this game anymore, actually. Let's go to bring in as much removal as we can against them here. Let's see, we want this Voltage Surge, the Disdainful Strokes, Valorous Stances. Could potentially cut an Opus. Maybe cut some of the game plan down. I don't really think we want that. I would rather have cards that do multiple things. I think we can cut one of these. Hullbreaker seems too far away, even though it does bounce their lands. Maybe we do something like this. Maybe cut a little bit of the combo. Feels kind of rough, honestly. Having a hard time thinking about what we want to cut. Do we play both Disdainful Strokes? I think so. Yeah, let's cut down a Hinata. Let's try something like this. We have enough ways to end the game. I think that we're more worried about stopping the game in the beginning and then just having something down that we can cast one of our big spells with or be able to do some further damage in different ways. And we definitely keep this hand. This hand's great. Going to start off with this Hall of the Storm Giants into the Lava Glide. We have a white mana in our Henge Gate. Opponent has a Duress, though, unfortunately. Probably going to take this Joy Disruption. Seems like the best play. Then all we really left was like a Voltage Surge. It actually looks like they went... Kind of interesting they went for one of the Opuses here, so... Let's see if they have more discard for us. They do not. Kind of have a weak hand here, unfortunately. We have Removal Spell and the Counter Spell, but our opponent knows about it, so they're not going to play into this Joy Disruption. And they have an Underdog. And I think we're just going to have the turn back to us here. Flame Blessed Bolt is the perfect answer for that Underdog. Let's play this. Has a white source just in case. If we have to discard a card, we can just discard the mountain. Pass the turn back to our opponent here. And we can Flame Bless Bolt this Tenacious Underdog. Exile it. They have a kill spell on their own card. We don't really care about that. That's not relevant. And opponent does not have anything yet, so we get to have this negate. And the Jawara Disruption. It's going to be a big help against a Chariot if they try to cast it, which they may be going for a Chariot to play around the Disruption, waiting a turn. Okay, they're going to Riveteer's Charm, sure. And they hit a Fabled, which is okay. Don't really care too much about that. It will eventually be a problem card, but we may be able to draw some lands. Maybe we still negate it for the tempo play. That way they just don't have anything out, though. We're really slow right now, so we may just play this Jawari tapped. Really trying to get to this Magma Opus. Okay. And I think we're just going to pass the turn back. Still 2 mana away from the Opus. We do have a Jawari. Let's see if they cast anything here. They do have Chariot. They can pay for it, so we're hoping to hit some type of artifact maybe to kill the Chariot on the following turn. Some lands in general would be great, just because we'll get to the Opus. So we do have to cast one of these. I'm actually just going to kill this for tempo's sake. It seems weird, but they actually don't even have a creature land out, so they can't crew the Chariot. We may want to use this Magma Opus at instant speed. Okay, obviously that's a problem. We need to have a bounce spell for that. Gonna go ahead and make a token here. They can crew the chariot, copy the token. Trying to see what our outs are here. The Hull Breaker potentially, but by then we may be dead. So unfortunately our opponent drew the cards they needed here, so not really able to deal with what they're doing. And honestly, we're kind of just taking a beating here, so could have not negated the Fable, but at the end of the day, I mean, every card that our opponent has shown us has been like a must-answer threat. Burn Down the House is really great, but it's not going to be enough for us yet. So I think we're just going to play this as a blue source, pass the turn back to our opponent. And I'm not sure what we can draw with this Burn Down the House. Maybe some more damage spells in between. A bit awkward. We kind of have to wait to use this during combat. Kill the chariot, tap down their 2 7/7s. We make a 4/4 and draw some cards. So still not out of the game yet, but you know, it is looking really bad, obviously. So they're going to crew that. Before combat, we'll cast to Opus, deal 4 damage here. Tap both these giants down. Get a 4/4, which is nice. 2 lands, not the best. Still got to dug deeper into the deck to get through. So we have some chances here. I don't really know what's going on. I mean, if this gets a card out of their hand, I'm okay with the hat. It might have a damage spell like a Voltage Surge for us here. I just have Meat Hook for 2. Sure, that's fine. Not really changing what we do here. Dragon's Fire is great. Unfortunately, this only deals 5, so we're able to just kill one of the tokens. Still the play to do. Let's go ahead and kill both of those, or one of those, excuse me, kill all the other creatures. We're at 12. Things are not looking good. And we'll play this as a red source, pass it back to our opponent. We could just be dead here. Turning their creature into an 8/8. Drawing another Opus would be great because it buys us more time. Obviously, we did cut one, so definitely in rough shape here. And the Asikis Chariot might just seal the deal. Opponent actually just has 2, just playing them out here. We have a Hinata, but fortunately it's just a little bit too late. We're at low life. We're going to have to go ahead and pack it in. Take a loss here. See you next match. Let's see if we can Magma Opus this time with the Hinata. Get that combo going here. Grinding out some games tonight on the ladder. Not bad so far. Gonna go ahead and be on the play here. This hand really does feel a little bit like a trap, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll go ahead and take a mulligan here. This is a little bit better. Gonna put back the March, I think. Could be wrong. Yeah, we'll put back the March. Go ahead and play the Sundown Pass tap to pass the turn back. We have a negate potentially for something that they play. And we have an iteration on the following turn to help set us up for something good. Get a feeling that they could end up being Rakdos or anything like that. Looks like this Jund Midrange seems to be pretty popular. We'll go ahead and just make a treasure here. Okay, unfortunately did not hit the land we needed for the Hinata, but we do have this expressive iteration that just actually hits us a ton of lands. So this into a library, this into exile. We'll go ahead and play the island here. Pass the turn back to our opponent. We have a gold span on the following turn with a negate backup. So depending on what they play, we just have Big Dragon go smash. And our opponent actually just has a Jewel Thief. Pretty good card. Vigilance Trample, not bad. And I think we're just going to slam Gold Span and smash. Don't really see a reason not to. We have this negate to protect it. We can play Hinata on the following turn as well. Potentially having like Shadow Skull smashing for a lot of mana. And we'll go ahead and hit our opponent down to 16 here. Pass a turn back. And we're going to take some damage. It has vigilance. It's not going to block our 4/4 gold span either. Okay, it might just have Obnixus here. Be a little bit awkward, but not game ending. We could just negate it and take damage, then play Hinata and just Flame Bless Bolt. The copy of the Obnixus comes down. It looks like they are just going to try to... Yeah, we'll just negate that. We'll get our treasure here, which is fantastic. And we have March of the Swirling Mist, which actually protects both of our cards now. So the game is actually looking very, very safe. Go ahead and come in for 4. Put our opponent down to 12. We just have tons of mana and ways to protect both of our cards. And we can just march if we need to protect our cards. Going to take the 3 damage here. Go down to 14. Kind of want to see if our opponent wastes more cards. And it looks like they will. I'm going to go ahead and target the gold span as well. Just because it makes it so that the gold span makes a treasure. Yeah, we just want to do this. Make treasures. Phase both of these out. They're protected. And they can meet hook onto the battlefield. That doesn't really matter in all honesty. And we just have lots of damage here. I think we'll just come in for 8. And we can just kill this at instant speed. Not really too worried about it right now. Any one of our 4/4 flyers can finish the game here. And yeah, I'll take the 3. See if they play something that's actually worth killing. That's definitely worth killing. That is definitely worth killing. So let's go with Spikefield here on the Lolth. Get that out of the way. I'll keep this Flame Bless Bolt because we can actually just kill the 2 spiders now. It's not a big deal. Yep, just go ahead and shoot those down for 2 mana. And we just get to attack our opponent for the last bit of damage and even cast the Expressive Iteration if we wanted to. So, looks like we're playing against a similar deck. Another Jund mid-range type style here. I think we're okay bringing both the Valor Stance to help protect us. And what else would we want to bring in? A Burn Down the House? We didn't really see what they played yet. It's kind of weird. I think we do just because we know that they played the Planeswalkers. We can cut... Can kind of make disappear in a Jawari considering we're on the draw. Maybe even part of the combo. I'm not sure. Prismari Command in case they play a Sigurd's Chariot. We don't really want to get rid of it. Maybe we just get rid of the make disappears overall. Do we want to bring anything else? I don't know. I feel like we're kind of okay right now. Maybe get rid of the Voltage Surge, but I like having access to all these random damage spells, even though let's say they just have 3/3, so maybe the Voltage Surge might be the card that we cut, and then we can bring in like a counter spell. What about a Hull Breaker? Would that be worth it? I don't think so. The game might go long, but I think I'm okay with this configuration of the deck to see where we go. I like having the combo still in it and potentially winning that way, even though I mean Goldspan's just good. So yeah, I mean this hand's great. We have a lot of cards that are expensive, but even drawing the second iteration is not bad at all. And I think that we want to use... Do we just want to use this as a red source? I feel like we want double blue. Ooh, that actually just does it for us as well. So yeah, let's get double blue now. Pass a turn back to our opponent. Looks like they have a bit of a fast start here, so we're going to take some damage for a bit. Maybe set up into this iteration. Okay, they do have a Fable here, so we're really getting behind. Swirling Mist may not be enough here. Ooh, Flame Blast Bolt is great. We'll go ahead and put this into our hand. This into our library. This into exile. We're just going to cast it now. Play this as our second red source and go ahead. I think that we want to give them less mana. Gonna take a little bit more damage, but I really do like giving them less mana. We can even set up a turn where we sorely miss their cards. Or I guess we could play Goldspan and protect it. Maybe that's actually the play. Gonna go down to 14 here. Yeah, I actually like that. Fire Bridge Tracker, a little bit annoying. Negate, somewhat late here. Do I just want to deluge potentially for the burn down the house? Even though it's a one of, we may want to. We can't really take this damage. Yeah, let's go down to 7. I think it's worth it to try to see if we can hit the board wipe, honestly. If we hit it, then it's great. If not, then obviously that was a bit annoying. So we have a land drop. I think we just want these. Dragon's Fire. Goldspan cannot swing. I think we just shoot this down now. Play this. We can play the Mist on their creatures, play the Goldspan on the following turn, holding them negate, but we would die though is the problem. Opponent's going to get a redraw. Probably crack this blood token. They're not using it. So you can kind of see how fast the game can kind of turn on this deck. I mean, kind of had a little bit of a slow hand, I'm not going to lie. Maybe we should have mulliganed, but it's feeling a little bit rough right now, honestly. Okay, comes into play with another land. Looks like they might activate the creature land. And we'll go ahead, target both of these, phase them out. And it looks like they're just going to activate their creature land. Still kind of surprised they didn't. They're just going to pass it back. Okay. I think we just try to play Hinata just because we need to block. Kind of just died to the creature land though, right? So, it looks like we're probably just going to be going to game 3 here. You could just negate that, no big deal. They have another removal spell for us. We just lose anyways. And they might, yep. Yeah, it looks like they do so. Opponent has 7 damage on the battlefield, and they even have a creature land they could use on top of that if they wanted to, so I think we're good on that. Maybe we just want all the removal. It's a little bit awkward, right? Just a little bit. Gonna be on the play this time. Cut a Disdainful Stroke, maybe. Nah, I think we can get rid of the Hazard. Hazard's kind of like fine. I mean, we were able to use it against the Lolth that one game, but yeah, we're bringing in the Flame Blast Bolts, which actually killed more things than the Spike Field could have. His hand's really weak, but we do have the Opus into the Deluge. Could try it out here. To keep or not to keep? I think we kind of... And honestly, I'm almost like forced to just because I don't want to go down on cards on the play, and we're more like a control deck, so I think just feel like that's a bad idea. It's okay. We can put this out and then deluge into the cards that we need. I was about to say, if they have duress, it's really disappointing, but... Triple gold spam. Let's see if we can get to it. And we'll go ahead and make a treasure here. Hitting a land, so yeah, we'll go ahead and pass it back. I mean, we might just triple gold span here. Our opponent hasn't played anything yet. If they just play a Fable. Okay, Jewel Thief, that's actually fine. I actually don't think I really care too much about that. So let's go ahead and start these gold spans down. Start the gold span train going. This deals more damage than their 3/3 does, so... I think I'm okay doing this, getting it down early, and then we have 2 more dragons. So let's see if just the dragons can overtake this match again. That's how we won the first game. Looks like they have a removal spell. Oh, they just sacrifice? Sure, that's fine. Opponent might pass it back here. They have another play. They have mana open. Oh, they have a Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. They have another Blood Tithe. They could be a bit annoying, but I think we're just racing with these dragons here. And hoping that that's enough to get us there. We also have a Deluge next turn. Or Deluge end step. So if they target the dragon, we can actually Deluge and have mana left over to potentially counter one of their spells. Gonna take 6 here, go down to 11. And they have a Briarbridge tracker. Things are looking a bit scary here, not gonna lie. And let's Deluge. Try to hit something good here. A negate and an expressive iteration is actually fantastic. Kind of a refill and a counterspell. If they have removal on our dragon here. 6. They have 10 damage on the battlefield. See, we can put them at 8. We get a treasure. It may be safer to play this dragon as a blocker, as weird as it is. Let's try to get some mana here. Ooh, Prismara Command and Magma Opus. So, I actually think we're going to put this into our hand. This into our library, this into exile. We'll cast the Prismara Command now. 2 damage here, and we'll make a treasure. So we get a treasure now, and then we get a treasure whenever we attack. Okay. Let's go ahead and attack with Goldspan. It's going to go ahead and deal them 4. We can play another Goldspan. I actually think it's safer just to hold up the negate. We have lethal next turn. I'd rather counterspell something that they played to kill our creature, or counterspell something that it's pretty much going to stop us from winning the game. So our opponent is at 8 now. We have this negate. If they target the Goldspan, we can stop it with this negate. We'll go down to 4. Playing the game a little bit risky here. Seeing if that's going to be enough. And they do have a meat hook here. That's fine. Meat hook can resolve. Okay, doesn't do anything. They have 4 mana left. It's going to come back to my turn. Play down this island. Play the second Goldspan. Go to attacks. Opponent has a removal spell, but we have a negate for that. See if they're going to go ahead and crack their blood token, but they can't get a 1 mana removal spell. So there isn't really anything that they can do anymore. We get both dragons coming in, and then we can Magma Opus for the victory. We'll go ahead and take it down yet again. See ya in the wrap-up. Welcome back to the post-game wrap. So as you can see, this deck, even I believe it's like a week or 2 after the Set Championship has happened, this deck list is still strong. You can get up the ladder pretty easily and not even be the best control mage, really, just because essentially you're just killing some things, countering some important things, and then trying to slam one of your big threats and win the game with that. So can't really say myself I am the best experienced player with this deck, but I know that I had a lot of fun playing it, and I wouldn't mind playing some more games with it to grind up. I mean, I think it's pretty legit. It took down the set championship, and there's tons of other professional players that think that this deck, is a solid choice overall. So I know that I recommend it as well. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'm really glad that you made it this far. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and like the video would all be greatly appreciated. We hold 3 tournaments a month, all are free to play. The links to those and the links to all my content are going to be in the description below. And I hope that you stay cheesy.